She-Hulk Episode 9, the finale. Oh god, where do I even start? She-Hulk Episode 9 starts with her in prison, but then she gets out on a plea deal so long as that she doesn't transform into She-Hulk anymore. She's fired from her job and she stays with her family for a while, but then goes to stay at Emil Blonsky's place. Meanwhile, her two lawyer friends are sneaking into an intelligentsia meeting and discover that the nerdy guy that She-Hulk once went on a date with long ago is actually the Hulk King, and he created intelligentsia. His name is Todd, I think. In this intelligentsia meeting, it's really just a gross misrepresentation and exaggeration of YouTubers and fans who criticize Marvel over making unlikable female characters who are intentionally written like a terrible person. It's really disgusting to see the show not only try to misrepresent fans, but then make fun of them and try to insult them. Nonetheless, it turns out that this meeting is taking place at Emil Blonsky's lodge, and the Abomination shows up to give a speech. But Jen is at his house looking for him, and then she heads over to the lodge and walks in on all of them there. And then Todd reveals to her that he is actually the Hulk King, and that they stole her blood to get powers. Then he injects himself with the blood and hulks out. Titania then randomly bursts in, and the Abomination tries to protect Jen, but then Professor Hulk barges in and starts to fight him. And then Jen just pauses all of it and busts out of her show as She-Hulk and goes to the writing team of her own show and eventually finds Kevin, who is actually a robot, and convinces him to change her ending. So then it cuts back to the actual show with all of her problems immediately solved. Villains all being arrested. She's She-Hulk again for some reason without consequence despite the recent plea deal that she had made. Daredevil also drops in literally from the sky because she had wanted him in the ending to sleep with again, apparently. But he apparently missed all the action and begins joking with everyone around in broad daylight. He is truly disrespected here, and it's so not true to his character that it's laughable and sad. Jen is then having a meal with her family at their house, and Matt Murdock is there with her, and Jen's dad is questioning him like a father to his daughter's boyfriend. And then the Hulk comes in as well and reveals that he has returned with his son, Scar. She-Hulk then goes back to being a lawyer, and seemingly the news about her is all positive now, despite obvious contradictions and so much left out. And that was it. That was the finale. No cool fight, no final boss, no villain. It was all just a nothing burger. She literally wrote her problems away. What a joke. It's almost as bad as the Moon Knight finale, where he blacks out and the entire fight is over and you see nothing. But Moon Knight at least had some decent scenes in its series, while She-Hulk simply does not. It's truly fitting that this disaster of a show ended in a flaming trash can. I was originally optimistic about She-Hulk, seeing her love from the comics, and I didn't think the first reveal trailer was actually that bad, but seeing the show, wow, was I a fool for thinking that it could be alright. This show does not relate to the comic version of She-Hulk at all, and the show is a big FU to true Marvel fans. It was clearly written for bitter, middle-aged women who live in California, specifically the rich, stuck-up ones. Sort of like the people who wrote this show, you could say. Will Marvel ever make good content like they once did? Who knows, but we have been in a drought for a long time now with no clear end in sight. She-Hulk, though, is by far the worst Disney Marvel show on the entire platform. The worst thing in Phase 4 and the worst thing in the MCU as a whole. I cannot stress that enough. Do yourself a favor and do not watch this show. But thank you for watching this video, and have a good night.